Let's talk about paper. All right, so there's a bunch of different types of paper. Again, what you're going to want to get is some nice grade vellum. And vellum, you can see, if we put this duster underneath, you can see it's a lot thicker than tracing paper, but you can still see through it really nicely. And it's really good quality. It's not cheap. Budget about 10 bucks for, you know, comes in all different sizes, but you want to get high grade vellum. I think you can get it in office supply stores, but if you can get the art grade quality, it's going to be even better. If you just have tracing paper, you might have some around your house. This is plain old cheapy school tracing paper. That's fine. This will help you begin to work with your perspective, but you're not going to want to do all the color stuff that we're going to do on tracing paper. And you can feel this tracing paper is about twice as thin as the vellum paper. So again, the trick is to not just create one image, but to create it over and over and over again. And each time you retrace your previous image, you're going to see things that you'll want to change. And you'll notice that some of the perspective is going to need to get changed too. Right? So the trick is to keep the fluid motion going and to continue. Now you can see, like, here you go. We've got our bit of a tracing of the general shape. That's how you're going to do it. When we get to the color stage, we're actually going to be coloring on both sides. So we're going to be doing some color on this side, then we're going to flip it over and do some color on the other side, then we're going to turn it back, color on the other side. We're going to do color on both sides of the paper all the way up until the end when we use our white highlight paint. That's the only thing that we're going to do only on one side of the paper. So it's a bit strange. There's not many things you do where you do it on both sides, but again, if you don't have tracing, get it. If you don't have vellum, get it. You're going to need it for the color. And if you're just sitting down, you just want to practice your design, any paper is fine. That's the best part, is that you can just practice on anything. You want to practice on any paper. Another thing I didn't mention is that it's not a cheat to just get a picture of a car out of a magazine, put a piece of tracing paper on top of it, and just trace the general look of the car. And then you'll start to notice things like there's about 3.5 widths of wheels in between the wheels. The car tends to be 2.5 wheels high as the wheels itself. You'll begin to notice some things about how cars are designed and the sort of proportions that they have. So it's not a cheat to go trace a car, all right? You can't show it to your friends and say, hey, look what I drew. But if you have a car, trace it out of a magazine, then you get back, you look at it on its own piece of paper, you can begin to try to mimic that, and you'll see that a car is made up of, you know, just a few lines. One sweeping line here, one sweeping line there, a flat line at the bottom, and a couple circles. All right, so again, it's reduce it to its most elementary pieces. It's a good practice to get into. All right, so you can't go work for General Motors if you trace cars out of magazines, but it's really going to help you practice, and it's really going to help you nail the perspective, and especially the wheels. If you're drawing it 3D, these wheels can be the toughest thing that you're going to draw. So the more practice you can do from car magazines, the better. All right, let's take a look at some color things.